Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today I wanted to talk to you about the church on Ruby Road. I literally just got done watching it, and I'm going to give you my immediate thoughts now that it's done. Yeah, so this episode had a lot on its plate. It had to introduce a new companion, a new doctor, a whole kind of new vibe for the show. And they weren't kidding when they said that this was more fantasy-esque. I immediately felt that right from the very first scene where Shooty opens it with "Let me tell you a Christmas story," and it all unfolds from there. There's a lot of initial sort of build-up to the kind of eventual meeting of the Doctor and Ruby, which was, obviously at first it took me a bit of time to get into it, but once it found its groove, I was hooked. From the moment that they meet, I was hooked. I think their chemistry immediately really jumps out. Ruby's story, her adopted mum, her whole family, I really, really like that. It felt different for a companion. I know people have said in comments before we had Bill Potts, which is true. This, it seems like it's a much more focal point to the story as well. And you guys know, obviously, this is going to be something that's brought up. I'm not a big Timeless Child guy. However, connecting that on a character level to having a companion who is adopted, I thought that was probably as nice a way as you could incorporate that as you're realistically going to get if you're continuing with that as your new status quo. Yeah, the side characters, they were really good. I liked the family. Davina McCall being there was fun. You know, she gets killed by a Christmas tree and then unkilled. Yeah, something I want to say actually, the ending I really liked. The ending really grabbed me where, obviously, spoilers, they fail at getting the baby that Ruby's foster mum has adopted. So instead they go back in time and go, right, well, we'll just take Ruby then, because the goblins, they dine on coincidence and they can basically ride like time waves and stuff. But they're not proper time travelers, as the Doctor said. So they basically take Ruby as a child and the Doctor has to go back in time and fix it because everything's all wrong. The foster mum's only doing it for the money. It's like the nightmare timeline. Really, really liked that. That was really good. Overall, I thought this came together really, really well to a really solid piece of Doctor Who. I thought Shooty was fantastic. My immediate thoughts on him and the characterization of his Doctor is he's a more emotionally open, especially to just non-companion characters than he used to be. You know, take it for example with Chris Eccleston's Doctor, which was, you know, in a similar way to this, the first of a new era, if you like it, you know, a new sort of season 1 type of era. He's a lot more emotionally open to people, whereas, the Ninth Doctor was very, go away, leave me alone. Shooty's Doctor is more of a charmer, but also at the same time shows that emotional vulnerability, he's genuinely devastated when he finds out that not only was Ruby taken as a child, but also that means that those 33 children or something that the mum fostered, they wouldn't get fostered anymore. And he got really emotional at that, and he was like, no, I've got to fix this. Loved that. That was really good. Really, really, I thought, you know, a good way of using the Doctor's emotions there. And honestly, it's kind of refreshing to have the Doctor be an emotionally open character. I mean, obviously, I don't want to harp on the previous era too much because there's so much to talk about here anyway. But I did feel that one of the key problems with the previous era was the lack of emotional openness with the 13th Doctor and her companions. She never really told them anything, and it could lead to quite frustrating viewing, frankly, where you're just like, for the love of God, can you just tell them already? With this, I don't see this being a problem. He seems a lot more emotionally open, which I really, really like. Sassy, which we all expected. The few bits of chemistry that they share are really, really nice. Obviously, this is their debut. They're just meeting. So, obviously, I think season 1 will give us a fuller picture of what their dynamics are going to be like. But straight away, you get those moments of sassiness. You get those moments of, one of the moments that really stuck out to me was when he was saying how, I'm trying to read the language of rope, and he's, getting really uppity about it. It was giving me slight Eccleston vibes as well with the, I'm trying to resonate concrete. It was kind of similar to that. Yeah, but it also felt different. Like I say, that whole ending where you enter the nightmare timeline, and it's all messed up, that felt new. Also, the fourth wall break at the end, I guess I gotta mention that. Yeah, that was interesting. I wasn't expecting it. She's like, oh, have you never seen a TARDIS before? I suspected before she said it, she might know more than she was letting on, because she was like, yeah, you know, see a police box all the time that disappears, you know? Although that was funny. I did like how someone called out that the Doctor just sort of disappears occasionally on the street and no one notices. Also, another fun fact, I know I'm rambling, But that snowman scene, I was there for. I was there when they were filming that. I assume it was like one of the like pickup versions. So I saw them film that. So that was fun to see. And yeah, I liked the whole reasoning for the goblins. They wanted to eat the babies, but specifically they used coincidence to kind of coerce the babies into their hands, and also apparently they taste nicer. I thought the goblins were really fun. I know some people were worried about the musical number, but honestly, that takes up such a small part of the episode. My one criticism, honestly, would probably be I'd have liked to have seen more of like the goblins themselves, and I probably would also say, I don't know whether this is just on my sound setup or whether anyone else was sort of experiencing this, I did think at points the sound was a bit quiet, like in terms of the dialogue, like the audio mix, I felt the dialogue was a bit quiet for me. Again, might just be a me issue. I can fully, accept that. Murray was on fire. Speaking of audio, I thought Murray's music was great. I loved the festive bits towards the end of this this episode. I thought that was really good. Yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it. Like, as a companion introduction and as a new era introduction and as a Doctor introduction, it ticks all the right boxes. It's very, very fun. Like I say, it took me like a good 10 minutes to get into it, but I think that was just, setting everything up. Once we were into it, I was there, 100%. I was like, yes, you're the Doctor, let's go. You know what I mean? I think he sold me immediately. I mean, I love the scene as well where he basically uses the sonic to detect that, oh, you've got a ring in your pocket, oh, you're proposing, and she's going to say yes. That was nice. And that also kind of gave me Paul McGann in the movie vibes. Remember when he's like, oh, you're taking an exam and you're going to pass with flying colours and you're going to reinvent such and such. Very, very Doctor-y dialogue. I like him a lot. I like Ncuti a lot. He's very charming on first impression. And like I said, I loved that we saw more of that emotional vulnerability. And also, as I say, I like that he kind of had the maturity to know, like, yeah, she wants to travel with you. I think, and I also loved, on that note, Ruby in particular, I love that she figured it out on her own that he was a time traveller through the hints that he was dropping. Like, she was figuring it out as they went along. I thought that was really, really nice. What do you call it? What are they called? The gloves that he uses, they were cool. I did think when they were kind of spoken about in, what was it, like the radio thing Ncuti mentioned, it was like psychic gloves. I never even covered that because I was taking a break. To be honest, my stomach has been a bit terrible and it's Christmas, so I thought I'd take a break anyway. I digress. He said that they were psychic gloves, so I assumed it would work in a similar way to, like, I don't know, like psychic fable, like he could read minds. But no, it turns out it's the thing he uses to hold on to things, and like if he wants to like increase or lessen his mass. So in the end, he pulls down the goblin ship. The goblin ship looked really nice. That's another thing I like to say. Yeah, you can tell I've just watched it because I've got a lot of things to say initially. I think visually this looked fantastic. Obviously, I think the 60th special as well looked great. But I think this is where you can really tell the Disney money's come in. Do you know what I mean? Like, visually, the colours were so vibrant. I thought the goblins themselves looked great. The Goblin King, I have to assume, I haven't seen Unleashed yet, is a blend between practical and CG, much in a similar way to the Meep, and I thought he looked great. That moment where they spike him with the top of the cathedral, I thought was really, really cool. Really liked that. Yeah, overall, I thought it was good. I thought it was really, really solid. Yeah, there's not much else to say. Well, there is more to say. I'm just trying to make sure I get everything in. Yeah, really, really liked it. I really liked that, both the Doctor and the Companion felt like they had focus, because, like, obviously, with the previous introduction to a new era, which was Rose, that was very companion-focused. And I would say this is more companion-focused than Doctor-focused, but I do like that the third act is basically Ncuti's time to shine. I thought they balanced that really well. Yeah, I thought it was paced pretty well, as I said. It took me a while to get into it, but once I did, I was there. Yeah, I enjoyed it overall. I think it was really, really solid, really, really good, and I'm excited for more. I'll be watching the trailer in a separate video. I've not watched it yet. I've just come out of the episode. So, yeah, thank you all for watching, though. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about the church on Ruby Road. If you want regular Doctor Who content, feel free to subscribe, and I will see you later. And a Merry Christmas, one and all. Bye-bye.